And so guess who was my running back or my head coach, right? When I first got my start, started finding success, Anthony Lynn. Some feelers out for Austin Eckler in this kind of tandem backfield with Brian Robinson over with Washington. And you got Dan Quinn coming in. So a lot of new factors coming in. They wanted to have some new leadership coming in.
If you was in a more pass-oriented offense and you were top 10 in targets, do you ever think about what you could do?
Shit, that's a quarterback right there. I'm thinking about what I could do with him. I'm thinking about if the Niners don't want me to come back to play with them, I'm thinking about what I could do. I know what I could do.
Howdy and welcome on in, my Washington Commanders faithful. Love to have you, happy to have you. I have a few subjects, 3 in particular, that I need to run by you guys. First one is this. We have to continuously dive into the Brandon Ayuk possibly being traded to the Washington Commanders. We have got to talk about that. We've got to dive in. I got questions about that. And then we got a few players that I know you know, but I know the general public doesn't know. But I just want to know, you got me? You with me? If these guys are as good as I think they are. These are a little bit under the radar type of dudes. So I need your feedback on how great they are and if there are any other guys I need to look at. And then the last thing, the 6.5 win total for the season. First things first, this Brandon Ayuk thing, it's getting awesome. It's getting super juicy. I would very much, if you guys really want Brandon Ayuk, any of you that are just like, we got to do this. Like, if you believe that this is a thing that needs to happen, you guys have got to watch the entire Pivot podcast. It's a phenomenal podcast. I love it a lot. That's where you guys got to be, because he says some amazing things. No spoilers, but he talks about how he feels, that the 49ers aren't able to make things work. How he understands that the fact that he is the best pure wide receiver in that room, and yet he's not getting his due financially. And then there was another player that has gotten his due. He just wants to be treated the same. And the last time he's really had a legit quarterback, the best quarterback he could probably imagine that he has had in his career, even over Jimmy G, is a freshman year with Jaden Daniels at Arizona State. That's the clear-cut thing. That's what he's going on. He's going on how, as a freshman, and Brandon was a junior, how he is getting ready to go and leave and head into the NFL, and his best season was with this freshman, right? So he has Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback, and he has Brock Purdy as a quarterback, and he is still going off the beautiful hype of his freshman quarterback that was at Arizona State, who transferred to LSU, who won a lot of games, a lot of big games, and broke a lot of records, and then won the Heisman, and then got picked number 2 overall to the Washington Commanders. He wants to go to that team. And so the question is this: what are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up a second-round draft pick? Are you willing to give up another type of asset, player-wise, that's going to be important? I don't know. You guys let me know what exactly you are willing to give up, because it's not going to be cheap. I really don't think so. I know it's going to be something that at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it for you guys, but it's not going to be cheap. Now, I would also say this: you are not the only team. Brandon Ayuk has come out publicly and he has announced that the 2 teams that he is happy and willing and prepared to play for are, yes, 1, the Washington Commanders, but then also, 2nd, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So there is competition. I believe that the 49ers, they're going to take the best deal. So I just genuinely hope and understand that the front office, the guys that are making all the decisions within the building for the Washington Commanders, understand full send that the maturation of Jaden Daniels requires talent. Talent that, yes, he already has. I love what you guys already have. But if you have a slimmering of an opportunity, a chance to optimize it in a way that they never believed they could a year ago, and you bring in what you have as a quarterback in Jaden Daniels, a former Heisman winner, and then you pair him up with Terry McLaurin, who is still getting overlooked as one of the top guys in the NFL, who we all love and we understand he's a dog, and you got Jahan Dotson in the slot, who's a type of receiver that we know if given the opportunities consistently, that he is going to shine, and he is going to shine bright like a diamond. And then you add in a man who just, with the 49ers, right? So a team, a run-heavy organization with a quarterback that is still getting pushed around in the likes of, hey, Mr. Irrelevant, you really weren't that guy, was able to haul in 75 passes for 1,342 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns last season, and earned his second team All-Pro honors. This is going to be implemented into the Washington Commanders offense. So I just really hope and pray that the front office for the Commanders is doing everything to make this deal happen. Now we move on to a couple of players that I just have a couple questions on, and if you guys have high hopes for them. So actually, you guys just signed Dorrance Armstrong to a 3-year deal, who just came with Dan Quinn, right, from Dallas. And I remember seeing the games against y'all and against the Giants and against the Eagles, and 92 was always an aggressive force, an aggressive force. So I love that Dan Quinn, once his defensive coordinator, now his head coach, is giving him an opportunity to be the full-time starter. So he was doing great things as a rotational pass rusher in Dallas and is coming off his best NFL season. In the last 2 seasons, Armstrong has had 8.5 and 7.5 sacks, respectively. This is an interior guy also. So it's already very hard and very difficult for these interior dudes to consistently get pass rush performance, pass rush results. But I mean, he in the past 2 years, he has played 47% and 42% of the defensive snaps. Okay? And he got 8 sacks and 7 sacks with that. That's crazy. You can honestly, it doesn't work that way, but if you double his time, he's not going to pay 100% of the time. You could, in return, double the sacks. You know, he'll play a lot more in 2024 with you guys, and he can go over that 10 sack for the first time in his 7-year career. He can get over that mark now that he has Dan Quinn, and now that he has, another guy that we're about to go into. Pause heavy on that, but Frankie Louvu. Frankie Louvu, who did amazing things in Carolina. I think this is a beautiful addition to the Bobby Wagner pickup. I think you guys are flirting with one of the best linebacker duos in the National Football League. I genuinely mean that. So I'm ready for big things for Frankie Louvu. It looks like the Jamin Davis experiment, at least at the linebacker position, is over. And so Frankie is coming in with that veteran leadership. He was a captain for the Carolina Panthers, who, even though their offense last year was bad, their defense was lit, and he was a huge part of it. And the last dude that I have to talk about is this Quan Martin. So the last video we did, I had to do some research on Quan Martin. I knew he was a dog, I knew he was good, but I want to hear it from all of you. What does Quan Martin really mean to this defense? Because I know, or at least I think I know, but I just want to know impact-wise, what does he actually mean to this defense? I know that he is now alongside Jeremy Chin, which is going to be a very beautiful thing. And so we have an opportunity that this secondary can make a legitimate run for one of the better secondaries in the National Football League, especially if our guy, E-Man Forbes, can make something happen, if he can mature, if he get a little bigger, or if he could just be more calm. He's very athletic. I love his capabilities, get his hands on the ball. If things really turn out for that secondary, you're talking about, maybe indeed one of the best. Now, 6.5 win total for you guys in 2024. That's kind of weird, kind of odd, kind of easy money for me to make, knowing that, and this is no disrespect, no flack to Sam Howell, but you guys are definitely in a way better position than what you guys had, A, with Mr. Ron Rivera in the beginning of the season, and then B, when you guys had Sam Howell as a starting quarterback. I just think Jaden Daniels is that much better than Sam Howell. And then B, Dan Quinn, being able to come in and understand that, hey, you have a defensive coordinator as a head coach there, Jaden. So I'm going to make things very difficult, but at the same time, I'm going to be able to teach you things that I see from my point of view. And you guys won 6 games last year with all the chaos, with all the embarrassing, losses and all the beautiful, surprising wins. You guys won the 6 games. Jaden Daniels 100% can carry the one over. Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson Jr. can also help in that facet as well. And then when you bring in all these amazing pieces that you have within your defense, things are going to hold up a lot better for you guys to get over that mark and get that 7-win lockup. I like that bet. That's going to be a bet that I 100% am going to be putting into my collection of bets. And so you guys let me know what you think on everything. And do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.